What's going on, world? Today we got some fire for you today. Important topic. You need to know.
It's gonna be self-sabotage, basically things that deal with relationships. And then at the end of the show, we'll give a conclusion of, how we think to solve it. But stay tuned, because probably get a little feisty on the topic.
It's gonna get hot and spicy.
Once again, Ray, Walls P, start the show.
Time for me to hold it down, time for me to break it down. Y'all cats don't wanna see me. Y'all better mind your P's and Q's.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Matter of Opinion. Walls P.
It's your boy Ray the Dawn.
Yep, and today we're gonna speak about, relationships.
Specifically, self-sabotage.
All right, let's get into it.
So, first topic of self-sabotage is that self-hurt. It's a very important topic, Not being generalized now. A lot of you ladies, y'all go through self-hurt. You go through certain relationships where your ex-partner has done bad to you. And then you're so hurt by that experience that you prevent the good guy that's trying to come in, from getting to know you a lot better and, spending quality time with you. You build up walls, and you may not realize this, but men do it as well. We do it as well. I'm not gonna hold back from that. But by building walls, you're actually hurting yourself from self-growth, expanding your horizon, enjoying life.
See, for me, that's true with the self-hurt, but 9 times out of 10, it's the men who could cause the self-hurt. Why? Because think of it. I know for me, when I was a kid, that first time that I was hurt by a woman, I never wanted to be put in that position to feel that type of pain. So for women, it's like, I think women have a harder time finding guys that, self-sabotage with hurt. Because we're always in the mind state. We don't want to be vulnerable, So, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to chuck that up to us guys as far as like the hurt goes. I mean,
but we got to come back to the realization that the hurt originates from an origin point. You got hurt by a woman as a kid that scarred you. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people don't realize that when you're in relationships, when it comes to relationships, matter of fact, when you hurt the other person, especially when a female hurts a man who has feelings for her, oh man, that's the worst. You get a man will go in the type of depression where he'd be like, yeah, I'm good. And his friends would be outside like, yo, you trying to come out? And he'd be like, nah. And then he'd be sitting there with a bottle of Jack or some Henny, and he'd be in his feelings for a little bit. So y'all gotta realize, females, just saying, the hurt that y'all do, it might not seem like you doing it on purpose, or it might not seem that you mean to do it, but it hurts. It do. And that brings us to my next topic. Self-destructive behavior. Now y'all know what I'm talking about. Talking about the nights out with your friends, they all still sober and you on the 97th shot.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all out here, oh, bring the Henny. You know what I'm saying? Self-destructive behavior. It's not healthy, And 9 times out of 10, I've been around a lot of females, so I know for a fact 9 times out of 10 is a female. She's just coming out of a relationship. The first thing she wants to do is go drinking with her friends. Just coming out of a relationship where she wants to sit there, put on some oldies. Now I'm seeing them boys to men.
Okay. But what about when it's guys, when we just get out of a relationship? You know how it is, yo. You gotta get you some thotties. Know what I mean? Bang that out of your system so you can move on. You know what I mean? So dudes do like, yo, we terrible with it. You feel me? Like we terrible with it, straight up. Like, yeah. And we'll get the Henny involved, but at least like for the chicks, they'll go to the club, you know, get drinks, and she'll go home with one dude. For us, we looking to have a straight up orgy or something. Like, yo, if we could get 5 chicks, guess what? It's on and popping.
You know what? You know what? I'll give you that. I'm not going to deny it. When we in our feelings and we hurt.
Know what I mean? And you try, like, dudes try and have that tough role, that, you know, that strong man role, to look tough, you know? Yeah. But yeah, man, I definitely gotta say, yo, us dudes, like, I could see, like, for women, when they go out and get a drink, whatever, this, that, and the third, it's cool. You just going out to get a drink, whatever. Now, if a dude is in the formula, that's one thing. But even so, like, even if they do, like, wind up getting with a dude or whatever, I guarantee you that dude gotta kind of, like, fight for it because she's still in her feelings.
Oh no!
You don't think so?
Nah. See, in matter of opinion, you know, like I said, I have a lot of female best friends, and I've been there in the lowest points when they've broken up with their mans, and I'm gonna tell you right from go. Shot of tequila sunrise, and the dude don't have to try that hard. He just has to be there for the night. You know what I'm saying?
Now, are you speaking if the dude leave her or she leave the dude?
Oh, I'm speaking from the terms of both perspectives.
Okay.
Both perspectives. And you have to understand, men, we savages with it. I'm not gonna hold you. You break up with us, we might go sleep with your best friend just to get
or do it to be spiteful.
Just to, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's like, hey, yo, Clarice, what's up?
Yeah. Like, yo, I'm gonna teach her to leave me or whatever. Like, yeah, you're right.
But y'all women, y'all a whole nother level sometimes. Y'all a whole nother level.
And we not?
Listen. Yo. Y'all will sit there, text us and be like, hey, I still care about you, but still be at the club dancing on old boy and sleep with him the next night and then hit us up like, hey, I miss you.
You got a point.
Exactly. Us men, at least we honest with it. We'll be like, listen, we broke up. I had sex with A to B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all play it off like, yeah, I didn't do much. I just went out for a drink. You know what I'm saying?
I will say that. I will say, no matter how bad a breakup or something is, women are always seen as the victim.
Exactly.
If she cheat on you, then it's, well, he didn't treat her right.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. What did he do to make you cheat? But if the dude cheats, he ain't nothing, he a dog. So yeah, I gotta give you that. I gotta give you that. All right.
And that brings us to our next topic of the subject: compassion. You gotta have some compassion, man. You gotta. If you do, female, doesn't matter. You gotta have some compassion for your spouse, because at the end of the day, man, you know, you breaking somebody's heart. You know, and I tell y'all, some of y'all females could be y'all could show a little bit of compassion. Y'all could see, y'all show a little bit of compassion. And some of y'all just rootless. Like I remember, true story. I remember one time I was Jake. Shout out to you. You know who you are. I was chilling with Jake.
Just put your man on blast, like.
You know, I ain't gonna say no last names, but Jake, you know who you are.
All right.
So one time I'm chilling with Jake, and he broke up with his girl, and she was all, oh yeah, we have to take time out and stuff. The very next day, she taking pictures with a whole dude from her biology class.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. That's not showing compassion. That's just straight disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? If you just break up with your man, don't be posting no BS like that. Come on. Y'all both need time to heal. Y'all got to show each other some respect, some compassion.
And the thing with that is, like, freshly breaking up, I don't like, men is different. Men, like, we try and move on and like put those feelings in the past, like,
Oh, yeah,
100%, like quick as
Yeah.
possible. So whatever potential chicks was like trying to get in, guess what? That opportunity is gonna knock it. The opportunity is gonna let itself in for you to do whatever, just to try and move past that woman.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, like, if you really trying to do right with that woman, you want to put that to the side and, try to have compassion and see, take time to see, like, maybe can we reconcile? Where did we go wrong?
Exactly.
Stuff like that. So definitely, like, pretty much when a breakup happened, everybody try and move too quick to try and get to the
to the
next location. Because realistically, we live in a time now where people want instant gratification for everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can remember back in the day, before cell phones and beepers, beepers, yeah, but before cell phones.
Oh, you took it way
when you
back.
go to work, you was at work. There's no calling. Like, the only time you get a phone call is if something important happened and they call you. Now, if you at work and you get a text or something and you don't respond, it's like, why ain't he responded? Why ain't she responded?
Exactly.
Yo, you at work. That's the instant gratification that people want nowadays.
And you know what it is though? It's a lack of communication.
That's true.
Lack of communication
That's true.
between both parties. And at some point in time, when you in a relationship or you just breaking out of a relationship, you got to sit down with the other person and be like, listen, this is what happened. This was, what was wrong or whatever. And that brings us to our next point.
Yeah, stubborn in your single ways.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely guilty of that numerous times. Yeah, like
what?
Like, pretty much, it's like, yo, I have the mentality. I come and I go as I please. I don't need to answer to nobody. Like that. That's me. Like, don't try and force me to do what I don't want to do. Like, and a lot of men think that way. It's like, yo, I want to chill with the homies. I want to do this. I want to do that. If I could sneak in, smashing another chick, whatever, let me do that. I want my freedom to do whatever. When I come home to you at night or whatever, then it's us. But during the day or when I'm making moves, don't question me. Nothing. Like, stuck in their single ways.
And it's the same way for females too. Females, they don't want to be bothered when they out having fun with their friends or chilling, going about their business and work. So what happens is you have a clash of two titans.
Yeah.
Because you got your single ego and then you got her single ego, and when y'all clash in a relationship, once again it goes back to that self-destructive behavior. Because now y'all fighting with each other over little stuff, you know what I'm saying? So at some point in time, one of y'all gonna have to start committing to some compromise.
Here's the thing though. True story too. Like, you have situations where you are really into the girl, but you still, you still want your single ways. True story.
True story.
Like, yo,
you speaking facts.
my ex a few years ago, I'm not saying no names, I'm not putting nobody on blast. Well, actually, I'm the one who's putting myself on blast, but committed relationship and everything, talking about moving in, the whole 9, whatever. And in my mind, I'm like, this ain't gonna happen. Mm-hmm. So, I liked the distance because it's like, yo, I don't gotta answer to nobody. I'm like, you have your place, I have my place. We good with that separate. That's as separate entities or whatever. Yo, we was talking about moving in, whatever. The day she was supposed to move in with me, my homie I was staying with, I was like, yo, if she show up, tell her I got locked up.
Wow. You hear that?
Yeah, I was like, yo, tell her I'm locked up.
See,
don't let her in.
See, homies on the world. He just snitched on the biggest lie we tell.
Yo, I was young and dumb. Like, I always tell everybody too. Like, yo, if I could go back in time, like, that's one person who I would definitely apologize to if I saw and like, yo, you know, like I feel bad, you know, when I put that chick through or whatever. But it was because me, I was still stuck in my ways of wanting my freedom. And you get guys that are like that. They want the commitment, but they got cold feet to do so.
Oh, but you get females that do that too all the time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna snitch on my damn self. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was dating a person. I'm not gonna say her name, just gonna say a person. We'll refer to her as person A. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So person A, we're chilling, we're cool, vibing and everything, going on a couple dates, had a full sit down with me, had a full talk about commitment.
Uh-huh.
Now we're talking like real commitment. She like, listen, I'm gonna be for you, you be for me. We go together, you know, standard contract.
Uh-huh.
No entanglements, it's a standard contract. So, you know, I'm thinking everything good and everything, you know, and we're both into each other and everything. And then she's like, I need my distance. I need this. I'm like, cool, okay, I ain't got a problem with that. You go do you. I'm gonna go do me. You know, we come home, we talk to each other and whatever. And then out of the blue, the distance just kept coming and coming. And I'm just like, but you're the one that sat me down, was like, I want to be in a committed relationship. So, you know what I'm saying? If you're not ready to commit and try to give up your single ways, you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Keep it 100.
Yeah, I agree.
Keep it 100.
I agree.
Keep it 100.
But like you said, that's where communication come into play.
Oh, of course.
But real communication, not I'm gonna just say what this person want to hear, and I'm gonna tell you
exactly. Especially
real communication,
especially if that person is always there for you. You know. So once again, my situation, always there for her. So, and then all I asked for is communication. That was it. So hey, life lessons, you live and learn, and that brings us to our next point.
Lack of compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And even me, I'm guilty of that nowadays, like lack of compromise. Like I hate compromise. Well, if it doesn't favor me, I hate compromise. So it's like, yo,
I'm not even mad at that. You know why? Because I would never give up my man's dad. That's all for that.
You know, so it like me, for instance, I'm more of a homebody or whatever. So if it comes to going to clubs, this, that, and the third, like I'm not really off that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times where I'll do it, but if it's something that you expecting me to do, I'm not into it. And with majority of guys, like, we don't like being told what to do. And like women are more, I guess women I assume is more active as far as like clubbing, partying, wanting to go out to eat, you know, all of that stuff.
You got a point.
Yeah, women tend to want to do those things, and dudes more so want to chill. Yo, I'm watching the game. Let me relax. I just came home from work. Let me put my feet up. I want to relax. I've been busting my ass all day, you know, stuff like that.
But you know, women don't compromise sometimes too. They don't. They could be like, for prime example, you could be like, let's go out to eat, and you'd be like, well, I don't really want to go out today. Can we just cook something? You know, you could be like, I'll make dinner, and she'd still be like, no, I want some steak and lobster. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That is true. She got mind set.
Her mind. Yeah. When a woman's mindset is set, you're not winning that fight. It's no compromising that.
Cause like with guys, like I will say this: if a guy know a woman really wants to do something and he's really not feeling it, and he says no, he'll go back and think like, you know what, she really want to do it, so let me do it.
Exactly.
All right, babe, you know what, let's go. So that I could agree with. I could agree with.
Y'all think about peer pressure? Nah, peer pressure comes from women when they really want to do something. Like if a woman says, let's go on vacation to the Bahamas, you're not telling her no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you're not.
That's true. I can't front on that. And The last subject is family and upbringing.
Oh man, that's deep.
Yeah,
That's
which also falls in lines with communication. But a lot of times, though, with family and upbringing, people don't really want to hear that because it's like, matter of fact, prime example, whatever. I'm not saying no names, but situation where
Jake, you know who you are.
Jake from State Farm. But one of my boys, whatever. The woman he was with, like, she had she came from a relationship that was like very abusive verbally. So the person he was dealing with, he's very, like, argumentative and everything like that. So every time, like, they have a discussion or something and, like, he raised his voice or whatever, it's like she feel like she's being attacked.
Brings back memories.
Yeah, it bring back memories or whatever, So it's two sides of the coin, because the one side is saying, yo, we've been together for this long, so you should know when I speak to you, like when I raise my voice, I'm not coming at you like that. And then the other side, instead of, like, trying to compromise and say, hey, I know this individual isn't gonna, isn't verbally abusing me. It's just, well, you know how I am, my history, so you should accept it.
Yeah, and a lot of females make that mistake. You have to understand that regardless, and I'm sure a lot of you out there have went through some tough upbringing, probably lost a sibling, probably lost a mother or father, probably, orphans, and I respect your hustle. I respect how you come up, you know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, you have to realize that you're dealing with a whole other human being. And women, I respect when y'all talk about your family hurt. I respect it because you letting me know that, listen, this is what I've been through, and I'm not trying to be like how I was before in the same situation. And for women, I think that's something that makes them feel more secure, to know that their man or the person they're with is not going to treat them as how they were treated back in their past. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And and once again, that refers to the man's side, whose job it is to, respect that and try to compromise as well, and also a woman has to compromise at some point to be like, okay, you know what, we've been together for X amount of time, and it's time for us to, like, really sit down and get me over this hurdle. You know what I'm saying?
Here's another point too. Like, with family, another way family and upbringing could play a role too is like say for instance, for me, I grew up in a household where amongst me and my siblings, we didn't really ask questions as far as, like, if if you're going through something. It was more so, when you're ready to come present it to us, then we'll give our 2 cents. But if you don't speak about it, then I guess you got it under control. So you revert that now to, I'm 40 years old, so you revert that now 20, 30 years down the line, when you're in a relationship, whatever, and your lady's going through something, and you're not the type to really ask questions and stuff because of your upbringing, then it's looked upon as, oh, well, you don't care. And that's not necessarily the case. It's just, that's how some individuals was brought up. And it could be for women too. They grew up in a household like that where they don't really ask questions, but women more so speak and communicate about things. So I know it's very rare that a woman would be that way, so to speak. But yeah, like, if that was something she grew up when her lifestyle, whatever, where it was, when people, having issues, they'll present it to you when they're ready, and not to, like, kind of like badger or pester them to get it out of them, then, that's how the person function.
Yeah.
So it's a communication thing.
Yeah, and at the same time as well, we're talking about family and upbringings, being formerly married also leaves a scar on women. And most men, y'all don't, you know, we don't sit here and realize like, okay, her ex-husband treated her like garbage. You know what I'm saying? And then here you come in, you're a good guy and all, but you still have a manner of trying to assert yourself, assert your dominance. And most females that have been with a man that, you know, they're formerly divorced from, they don't want that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want somebody that's gonna be there to understand them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's more so the fault of the man. And you know, as a woman, when you've been hurt from a previous relationship, particularly a marriage or a divorce, you know what I'm saying? Your mindset is, okay, the next time I find somebody, that's got to be it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, women will go date a guy, and that guy will do, you know, try his best to be there for them and stuff. And a lot of times, it runs in their mind, okay, what's wrong with him? You know what I'm saying? Because of the hurt they've been through, and then they start to question stuff. They start to, you know, find little things to be nitpicking about just to see. And what that leads to is the guy, you know what I'm saying, tries to assert his dominance. And by the guy trying to assert his dominance, it's bringing back bad memories for her. And what that leads to is her being like, you know what, I'm good. You know, let's go our separate ways. And then later down the line, she's gonna realize that her self-sabotage also led to her losing a good guy. You know, and the same vice versa. The guy's gonna sit there, he's gonna be like, you know what, I could have handled this situation different.
That's true. Here's my conclusion on the matter. For women, like how you just said, women seem to make checklists, like they live by like a checklist code.
Exactly.
You know? So if the man don't meet your criteria of your checklist, then, you know, right there, like, you already have negative thoughts in your mind, whatever, towards that relationship, where you're like, yo, I'm not giving it all my all, so to speak. And if they do meet the checklist, then it's something got to be wrong with him. He had to do something. So it's like, you know, it's like a no-win situation. Guys too, you know, we always think like, yo, we can't trust her. She probably doing something on the side, because the way the way men think about women is like, women move sneaky. Where, matter of fact, that's why when men go out on dates with women, pretty much they trying to smash by the end of the night if they put money up. Because the way a guy thinks is, chicks got a dude to take them out, a dude that'll take them out to eat, a dude that'll go shopping with, like different dudes for different criterias, and then they got the one dude they smash, so to speak. So a guy's mentality is, yo, I'm not gonna be the dude that you're gonna have your fun on and spend the bread on, and then you go home and you got Joe Schmo getting in it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way a guy thinks on the matter or whatever. But at the end of the day, if you gotta have communication, number one, and number two, you gotta be willing to leave yourself vulnerable. Because if you don't leave yourself vulnerable and you thinking, yo, he might try and play me, so I'm not gonna give my all, I'm gonna wait and see what he do, or I'm gonna wait and see what she do, you know, then it's tick for tack. You either in 100% or you not.
And also understanding from the female perspective in conclusion, you know, a lot of females, they think the same way as well. They'd be like, oh, well, he probably got a girl on the side, you know, he probably got another girl to do this, or, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for the females, y'all have to learn to respect the man that's trying to court you. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn to get to know him, get to really know him. And then also revert into how guys, I know how us guys are, you know what I'm saying? We're always thinking like, okay, she probably got like 6 other dudes in her phone, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and because of that mentality, we tend not to go all out for a woman unless we think that woman is worth our time. And then, you know, females, y'all have certain things or certain things that you actually do. Actually, I'll give you an example. For example, you know, having a conversation, flirtatious conversation, to be more specific. And that's a way of communication to the guy as well, but it's also giving him signals that, okay, you know, I'm interested in you, whatever, or this could lead further than what it is for the night. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So at a certain point in time, the guy is thinking like, okay, so she's flirting with me heavy, she likes me, but should I give up, you know, all the other females I'm talking to for her? Is she worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of times females think, oh, you know, I look good. You know, I don't have to prove anything to the guy. And that's where your perspective is wrong. Okay? That's where your perspective is wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why your perspective is wrong. For every one man that exists in the world, there's 10 females to a man. Okay? There are 9 other females out there that will show love, compassion, and compromise for a good man. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
I don't want to cut you off, but it's always easier for a man to find a good woman than a woman to find a good man.
that is 100% true.
So basically, if you're sitting up there playing the games with that good man, it's not hard for that good man to go and leave you and find a
Exactly.
good woman.
Especially if you as a female, you sit and you talk about commitment and then you end up wasting that man's time. Especially when his time is very precious. Because there are a lot of single fathers out there. Shout out to the single fathers. Woohoo. But yeah, especially when you waste that man's time and, you know, his efforts, and then you just play him out. What you do is you hurt him. You hurt him. Now, the next female that he goes looking for, he's not going to give her 100%. He's going to put her on the back burner. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. This is how we think. It's going to be the girl I'm talking to, the girl that I may talk to if this one messes up, and then the girl that I might talk to if she messes up. You know what I'm saying? So now you put him going through a list. You know, same way that you guys have a list. So at the end of the day, though, it's really, truly up to the individual to actually get over the self-hurt, the self-sabotage. You know what I'm saying? And talking from a person who has been there in that perspective, who's been in that place, you know, there are a lot of things that will mess with you, especially if you try to give your all to somebody.
Oh yeah.
And then to just be shelved or to be just played with and then put to the side.
Especially for no reason at all.
For no reason at all. Exactly what I'm saying. But you know, it's a learning lesson, and then also it's an empowerment. And I'm gonna tell you why it's an empowerment. And this goes for females and men. It's an empowerment. Because anytime you get shelved, dumped, or whatever, God always sets it up. So if someone can't open the door for you that's there currently in your life, that person gets removed and they put someone else that can open that door for you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't agree more.
So always walk with God, trust in Him, and then trust in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the next person you try to date or be with, try not to bring the hurt into the relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
You might be hurting. Empty your cup. Empty your cup. Because the moment you bring the hurt, you start self-sabotage. You start going through the motions. You start having lack of compassion. You start having relapses of what you've been through. And that's not something you want to do. You can't build a foundation on an uneven hill. Mm-hmm. It has to be evened out. And that's my conclusion on this subject.
That's why your past relationships, you must learn from them, but don't bring it into the next. You know, keep an open mind as far as your next. Use it as basically a learning tool. So you know, okay, I know not to fall down that pit trap again. Exactly. It doesn't mean set barriers. You know, keep an open mind.
Right. So exactly like referring to what you just said.
Yeah.
If you see the situation going down the same road as the previous situation, pause for a minute. Question it.
Mm-hmm.
You're allowed to do that. You know what I'm saying? But don't automatically assume, right? Don't automatically assume. And when I mean automatically assume, don't assume that somebody's doing the worst.
Exactly. Because you could have the same title of a book, but a different author.
Exactly.
So don't just take it as it is, you know.
You gotta go with the flow, go with the vibe, and then if the vibe feels still off to you, it's your turn to walk away. Have a discussion.
My best word of advice, man or woman, is if you see that person is the person you definitely see yourself with, then go all out. Don't hold back until the person give you a valid reason not to.
Exactly.
That's the best I could say about the situation. That's gonna be it for our show. Unless you had more to add to real quick. I just want to talk about a really, really controversial topic that's going on right now. Yes. You're right. Yes.
We're talking about the racism that's going on with the cops, particularly the shooting that happened with Jacob. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, there's no reason to shoot an unarmed man 7 times in the back when he's just trying to hop in his car. There's no reason to do that.
Here's what I'll say on the matter, because you had people who are saying, well, the cops was telling him, you know, freeze, stop, you know, giving him instructions, and he just ignored the cop and went to his car. I can agree with that, especially with him having his kids in the vehicle. I can agree with that. But at what point does de-escalation come into play? You could have tased them that close. You could have shot him in the leg or shoulder, but 7 times
in the back.
That's intent to kill.
Exactly.
Like, that's intent to kill to me. Like, that's ridiculous.
And for those who don't know, criminals included, you know, the intent to kill line is above the waist.
Yep.
Anything below the waist,
yep,
doesn't count as intent to kill.
And people will say, you know, well, the officer could have feared for his life or whatever.
Fear from what?
That's fine and dandy that the officer could have feared for his life, but for you to shoot 7 times.
Let me put it in this perspective, okay? England, if you ever go to England, their cops don't carry guns. They're trained in hand-to-hand combat. The only people that carry guns are detectives at Scotland Yard. If you ever go to England and you stop a cop, they have a baton and they have a stun weapon. That's the most they carry. If the stun weapon doesn't happen, oh, trust and believe, you're getting beat.
I did not know that. You learn something new every day.
That's a fact. So for you to tell me that a country like England, who barely trains their officers in combat like that, I'll tell you that right now. Their officers are trained, but they're not trained as well as American officers in hand-to-hand combat. For you to tell me a country in England can police their entire country without holding guns to a lot of officers, and you have America, which has a lot more police training. We're talking, when you go to police academy, one of the main courses you're taking is close combat before you even touch a firearm.
That's true.
That's a fact. You have to complete a physical close combat course. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Especially when he had a baton on his side of his belt. You didn't have to pull a gun. You could have pulled a baton.
And the thing is like, by law, like, if you don't have a weapon, the officer's supposed to holster their weapon.
Exactly.
Like if a cop tell you to freeze and you got your hands up and you just take off running, they're not supposed to fire their weapon. They're supposed to holster their weapon and chase you to catch you.
Exactly.
And the problem, where the disparity is you got a lot of blacks that are dying and getting shot, but then you got, the white counterpart who's shooting up churches, or even at the recent protests where you had the white gentleman that had a gun and shot 2 people and injured them. And when the cops came up, he's walking up to the cops with his hands up. They tell him to go home. If a black person was in that rally walking to a cop with a gun, hands up even, you don't think they would have shot that man?
But that also refers.
You don't think they would have shot that man?
It also refers to the racism of the police force.
Yeah.
And this goes back way back, way before, actually most people don't even know the first black officer on an actual police force was in Colorado. Most people don't know that. So
I didn't.
that's something that, y'all should check out, he's a cool brother, But anyway, the racism on the police force is serious. It's been a lot of officers who've made detective, who've stayed on, who've been racist. You know what I'm saying? And then they look at people of color, people of different ethnicities as below them. And that's also due to the president as well, spending his message of racism and trying to destroy the country as it be. And what people fail to realize is that a majority of this country is minorities. A majority of the country's main infrastructure are run by minorities. They might answer to a white boss, but if we decide to walk out of the power plants, guess what we're not gonna have?
If minorities, if every minority in the country literally said, we're not gonna purchase anything for the next 2 days.
Oh, I can tell you right now.
The economy would crash.
It wouldn't even crash. We would be in the equivalent of about 20 years worth of debt ahead of 20 years.
Yeah.
That's how bad it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It would be called what they call a fire sale. And for those who don't know what a fire sale is, it's when a government completely has to shut down because their money infrastructure is going completely to the negative. I'm talking the stocks and bonds, completely negative. I'm talking Federal Reserves. The money that's in there, completely worthless. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And it's a very rare term, and it's been used before. Y'all remember the Great Depression? I know y'all read about it.
Oh yeah.
That was considered a fire sale because credit came out, nobody was paying on credit, a lot of money was owed. Great Depression started. So y'all, you have to sit and realize that as a people, a unified people, we have the power. We have the power if we say, let's just all not buy anything today. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much these white politicians, these people who think white people are the prime of America, you know what I'm saying, would suffer? Take, for example, McDonald's.
Yeah.
If everybody didn't buy McDonald's, nobody showed up to work for McDonald's, McDonald's would lose about $1 billion each hour.
What restaurant was that I think they fired a black person and like a person that was working there, and something that was where they were saying don't buy from this restaurant. Was it Wendy's, or I remember reading something about it. I'm gonna have to check it out, but it was this particular restaurant chain that people protested not to buy their item, and then they sent out a apology quick. I'm gonna have to look that up and see. But yeah, it was a restaurant that they lost a lot of money too.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
believe it was Wendy's.
I think it was Wendy's.
I believe it was Wendy's.
Like I don't remember.
But they took a significant hit.
Yeah, they definitely did.
They took a significant hit. But like I said, it's up to us as the people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I applaud the NBA stars.
Yeah,
I applaud them.
I do.
I applaud them.
See, with the NBA though, when it first happened, and I was like one of the people who are like, why, like, everybody got to go to work, so why are they just, not going to work or whatever? Like, granted, I understand the magnitude of it, but I was like, why are y'all going to cancel games? I didn't realize, like, even though the NBA did a lot, you still can do more. Because at the end of the day, it's like the NBA players, they're asked to go out there and play, stay away from their families, whatever. Granted, they get paid handsomely for it. But NBA players don't really ask the league to do much. But the one thing that they're asking them to do is to try and do more for the Black Lives Matter movement. And LeBron James, yes, he got money and everything like that, but you think he's going to be able to sit at a table with billionaires? He's not in their league. That's why the owners, they're billionaires, so they can sit at a table with other billionaires, politicians, whatever. So it's like their whole process was, call the legislators because you're cool with them. Call the people you need to try and pass the right laws in place.
Exactly. And I applaud them because they did the one thing that most people here in our country, our beautiful country, are refusing to do. They hurt their pockets.
Yes. And granted, the NBA has nothing to do with, because I always use this analogy. It's kind of like you go to work, right? Your boss pisses you off. So now when you come home, you take it, you're pissed off at your boss at work. So when you come home, you take it out on your old lady and the kids. Mm-hmm. And they're like, why are you mad? Yeah, because my boss at work. It's like, okay, let us try and do something to make you feel better.
Exactly.
So they make your favorite food, your dessert, whatever, you eat it, and you're like, that's still not enough, whatever. You still take it out on them. At the end of the day, they're like, I'm not the one that pissed you off, but I'm still doing what I can, to help. So that's the way I was looking at it. But now, the better analogy would be your significant other's cousin is your boss. You get what I'm saying? So you have a direct line where you can go to your cousin and try and make my situation better.
Exactly.
Because you have ties. And that's the same thing. The billionaires, these owners, they have ties to the legislators.
Exactly.
So, put in the call to your man and make things better for us.
Because what most people fail to realize is that all those fancy stadiums, those basketball stadiums and stuff, they're still properties. The land itself is still owned by the state. Now ask yourself this. Normally when you buy a property, you pay state taxes on it, right? Mm-hmm. Why don't they pay state taxes on those stadiums?
Yep. Very
good question.
Yep.
Because they're very good friends with politicians.
Yep. So no politicians isn't gonna fix it for us. We as a people gotta make the change, because no politician is gonna change things for the better for us.
Exactly.
Us as the people gotta make the change to make things better.
And you have to strive to do better.
Yeah.
You have to. You have to, because the world is big, but it's also small.
Yeah, very.
It's big in the sense of you could go a lot of places and still not visit all of them in your lifetime. But it's small in the sense that you'll always be around human beings, no matter where you go.
Yep.
You might not know them, but at some point in time, you'll have to interact with them. So just remember, the world is big, but it's also small.
Yes, it is. That's why I always say, careful with the person who you mean to or whatever, because that might be the cheeks you got to kiss later down in life somewhere.
Never ever forget.
Yep.
Treat every person fair.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you never know who might that person turn out to be. You know what I'm saying? They might end up being your boss.
Yeah, exactly. Are you going for an interview for a real, like a job that you really wanted, and guess who's at the interview? the person in traffic. Hey, kiss my, you know.
Matter of fact, I'll do one better. I'll give you guys a prime example. So I went to school with this guy in college, and I'm not gonna name his name, just because I don't want to embarrass him that much. But he used to be a little bit mean to me, or whatever, in college or whatever. I've never paid it any mind, because I'm the type of person, like, I just let things go, whatever. So turns out he applies for my moving company. By the way, I own 2 businesses. So anyway, he applies for my moving company. So I look at the application, I'm like, oh, okay. Now this is the funny part.
Karma.
He walks into the room, sits down, and I had the secretary sit down with him, and he was talking to her and stuff, and he was like, "Are you the one giving my interview?" And she was like, "No, but 1 second, the boss will be in here in a second and do your interview for you." And I kid you not, the face he had on
Priceless.
was so priceless.
Oh, I wish I could have witnessed that.
If it wasn't for the fact that I could go to jail, I would tag the footage of the camera in my office at the end of this video.
Oh man, that's wonderful.
Priceless.
Oh man, yeah, I could imagine. So yeah, try and stay level-headed, and try and be nice to everybody. Love thy neighbor.
Yep.
Love thy neighbor. All right.
That'll do it for this episode.
Yep. So tune into the next one, and I hope you enjoyed everything we discussed. I hope you learned something and looked at things from a different perspective. And we'll see you on the next one.
And y'all stay blessed.
Peace.
Time for me to hold it down. Time for me to break it down. Y'all cats don't wanna see me. Y'all better mind your P's and Q's.